Met a girl in Oakland, but I don't wanna say.
We are back, you guys, with another banging episode of Building Her Story, this time with Rachel Waugh. She asked me before the interview, how did you find me? And I'm like, how could we not? Like, the body is incredible.
Oh,
Again, Building Her Story is taking a look at, celebrating Black women who have achieved the IFBB Pro status within the past year. And eventually we'll expand it to beyond because there's just so much to do and so many incredible women. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that though. And so that's
yeah.
why we're doing what we're doing, just capturing these stories one fabulous woman at a time. And today it's with Rachel. So we're gonna start at the beginning. Miss Rachel, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Doing fabulous. Give me
Great.
3 or 4 words that describe you.
I would say unique, resilient, and unstoppable.
Mm, unstoppable.
Yes,
Okay, so
ma'am.
that was very poignant. And the way you said it means that there's something in your journey that you had to overcome. So we're gonna dig into it. All right,
Yes.
tell us, girl, why bodybuilding? How did you get started?
So, bodybuilding was always an interest of mine. I was never really familiar with the sport. Starting off, I just would see girls who were so muscular, and I was like, dang, I want to do that. But I didn't have the time. I was in the military, active army. And I was like, if I'm in the army beasting, I could definitely become a bodybuilder. But I have a daughter who's 17, and so when I got out, it was just more so focusing on her and building a life outside of the military. So after we got out, I moved to California. I did cosmetology school at Paul Mitchell, and then ended back here on the East Coast in Atlanta. Um, I lost everything. I lost all of my household goods moving from California back down this way. And so it was like a fresh start. All the plans that I had planned to do were abruptly, like I couldn't do it anymore. So I was like, okay, God, why am I here in Atlanta? What is it that you want me to do? And so I started acting. I started modeling. I have a birthmark on my left eye. And so I started embracing not covering it. I used to mask my eye a lot and just really becoming the woman that I was destined to be without makeup and weaves and all of that. So anyway, um, while working out here in Atlanta, one of my friends at Crunch, Maya, she is also an IFBB Pro. Um, I saw her physique and I was like, yo, what are you doing? You look insane. And she's like, I'm a bodybuilder and figure, and I'm going out to get my pro card. She ended up getting her pro card December 2021. After that, I was like, put me in the game, coach.
That's
I
right.
want to, I want to start. I want to do it. And so I did. She got me linked up with her coach, and I started my journey there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your story is really incredible. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper, but that same kind of thing happened to me where I walked into a gym one day. I had been going through a lot in my life, bad divorce, and I was really just trying to find myself again, really regain confidence and um find me, right? And like figure out like what's making me feel good. And at the time, like most people rushing into the gym to try to change the outside. And one day I saw some women come in and they were bad. And I was like, that's it. I wanna do that. And
Yes.
so that's kind of how I got
Yes.
started too. And it's like, it's so powerful when you see someone else accomplish it that you're like, you know what, I can do that too. And that's what this is all about. All right. So
Yeah.
your first time out, what year was your first competition and what was that like?
My first competition was July 2022 in Chicago. And that show was so important to me because I'm from Chicago. So I was like, I have to show out for my city. And so it was nerve wracking. I was terrified to get on stage because in the beginning, sis, I was not the best poser. Like it was awful. So I was like, okay, well, we here now, so let's do it. And sure enough, I won my first show at home, first place overall. And after that, it was just like, it was a high that I just wanted to continue to chase. Like, this feels so good. All of my work, it paid off. So, okay, if I won my first show, where can I go next? So from there, I was like, it's go time.
That's right. That's right, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I know exactly what he's talking about. That adrenaline of being on stage, and
Yes.
and then the judge is saying, "Yeah, you got something," and it just makes you,
Hmm.
it gives you that fuel and that fire to be like, "Okay, all right, what else can I win?" All right, so you do your
Yeah.
first show, 2022, you get first place overall, and
Yep.
then then you're like, "Okay, let's see where do we go from here." So,
Hmm.
how did you end up winning your pro card in 2023?
So I did 4 shows my first year. I did Chicago, Vegas, Pittsburgh. Girl, I messed up so bad in Pittsburgh. I forgot my left from my right. It was
Oh.
terrible. I was so nervous. Sandy used to make my nerves go all over the place. So
Is it because she's such a prominent judge in our industry, or
yes. And it's
yeah,
just like, you just, I know for me, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but when I do things, I just want to give it my all. And so Pittsburgh was the best that I had ever looked. And so I was like, yeah, I want to just do the best that I can. And when I saw her, it was just like, oh God, there she is.
this is
There she
real?
is. It's real. And I blew it. I did.
Yeah.
But after that, that gave me even more drive to keep going. So then I did nationals 2022 and I came in fourth in my class. So after that, my coach was like, listen, you need to take some time off, grow, work on your posing, and then we'll go from there. So I did like a 6 month break. And after that, we did Amateur Olympia 2023 October, first place in my class. And then she's like, all right, let's go to nationals. And we have 4 weeks after the Amateur Olympia. And when I say, oh, I just got chills thinking about it, I I was unstoppable. I was getting up at like 3:30 in the morning doing cardio. I said I wasn't going to say this, but like you said, we need to start sharing these stories to give women um, the strength to keep going in adversity and trials and tribulations, right? Because my story is crazy. It really is. Things that have happened to me would have made people want to stop, but anyway, I lost my car in October. And so I'm like, okay, well, now how I'm going to get to the gym? When I say I was getting up at 3 o'clock, walking over to my apartment complex gym, doing my cardio, the people, my family at LA Fitness, my LA Fitness family was like, yo, we don't care about your car. We gonna take shifts. They were coming. One would come on Monday. One would come on Tuesday. They were coming to get me at 5 a.m. I'm standing strong in the gym, lifting every single day, not letting anything stop me. And because of that, like, you know how when you
Mm-hmm.
just know it's your time,
Mm-hmm.
I just knew. I just knew that if I keep going like this and if I just let these things that's trying to, because first of all, I'm very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
The devil is going to devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to attack the person that's sitting on the couch eating potato chips. He's going to go after the person that's trying to do something better for
That's
themselves.
right.
So I knew, oh, this is just an attack from the devil because he know I'm about to win.
Right.
So I kept going and I kept going, and then nationals came, and I looked the best I had ever looked.
So let's talk about that for just a second, because you made a couple of really good points about not letting anything stop you. And I think
Hmm.
it's beyond that. It's everyone coming together, like you said, that community, because we all want to see you win. But it's like, and I talked to Amber P about this, and a couple of other folks. Um, just kind of, you got to put it in God's hands, right? Because He says, you do the work, right? And now
Yes.
walk out on that faith, and
Yes.
watch what happens, right? So
Yep.
work, walking, and watching. And I
Hmm.
think there's something really, really, I hope people really understand that and get that, because
Hmm.
that's been a theme with a lot of the women that I've talked to, is that even if it's adversity and things knocking on your door telling you to give up, or like you said, when the average person will be like, I guess this is not for me, there's something
Hmm.
inside of you that says, well, how bad do you really want it? And
Exactly.
and allowing God to have that place in your life and that presence to be like, you know, I've come too far to come this far, and
Hmm.
what do I got to lose, right? So just keep
Right.
going, because it's inevitable. If you keep going, then it will happen. Whether it's a pro card or anything in life, you can take that to anything that you do if you just keep going.
Correct.
And so,
Correct.
again, that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, is that patience is a virtue,
Oh yeah.
right? Be patient, and really just lean on his understanding, because a lot of times we don't even know. And
We
it's the
don't.
test. So many of us have talked about that test that comes, that trial. You know what I mean? I'm preaching now, but that, the
Oh
tribulations
no.
and all the things that come
Yes.
right before you triumph and then get that testimony. So anyway, girl, you gave me chills, because you really
Yeah.
are, hitting home on a lot of things that I think, it really boils down to, and what's so important about the messages you guys are sharing with us. Okay, so
Yes.
show day comes, and now you got this peace, because you're like, you know what? I done threw everything at it. Listen, I already know the body is there. This is
Yes.
mine. I'm showing up. What was it like when took that center spot, and they call your name and say, Rachel Waugh, and your new IFBB Pro? What did that feel like?
Girl, I'm just getting chills thinking about it all over again. Um, it's a feeling that I can't describe, because like you work so hard. You work so hard for it, and then your time comes, and it's just like it's so surreal, like it actually happened. Honestly, for me, I'm such a crybaby. I was up there fighting the tears,
Yeah.
and I was making jokes with my family, because this show was also very important. None of my family had ever been able to support me, so I had everybody there, even
Mm-hmm.
some of the coaches and some of the other teams and people from my team. They were there, all in support of me, and it was just beautiful to have won something that meant so much to me, and have the people that I love the most witness it in real time. It
Yeah.
was an amazing feeling.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Tell me one thing that you really loved about, the journey so far, and one thing that you probably would not do again.
One thing I really love about the journey is the discipline. A lot of people don't like structure, but I guess because I was in the military, I functioned better with being like told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, in a sense. So when it came to my diet and the exercise, I liked that part about it. That was easy for me. Um, the one thing that I did not like so much is that um, I didn't get to see my friends and family as
Mm-hmm.
much. And
Mm-hmm.
so I know a lot of people in our industry, that are still able to go out and hang out with their friends and family and stuff like that. But for me, I have to isolate. That is
Mm-hmm.
the only way that I'm going to focus. So the journey is lonely. It
Yeah.
does get lonely. But I know it's for a greater cause, for the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But in season, it is,
I
a
would
little
totally, I would
lonely.
totally agree with that. There are a lot of sacrifices to be made. I tried
Hmm.
a lot. Even we're talking to Sonia Lewis on one of our previous episodes, and she was saying, I was asking her, but how do we create balance? And she was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a job. And there, you can, the people who, I mean, you can have balance and you can do those things, and there you can try to schedule some things in and do that, but your whole day is around waking up, getting your food, doing your workouts, making sure you check all the boxes, getting enough rest
Yes.
just to get up and do it all over again.
Yes.
And then for us as mothers and women, we have to also work and raise kids. And so you don't really have a whole lot of time for socializing and other things. I mean, you can, but you're very strategic about how you give that time away, right? All right.
Right.
So Miss Rachel, tell us, what do you do outside of bodybuilding? Like, how are we supporting this crazy lifestyle of ours?
Girl. So I am an entrepreneur. So I do training and things like that on the side. I'm a licensed esthetician.
Mm-hmm.
So I do facials and things like that too. But really, bodybuilding is my life right now. I
Yeah.
am so blessed and
Yeah.
fortunate that I did my time in the service. So I'm taken care of on that part. And then also, you know, with my daughter, she's 17. She's got the opportunity to live with her dad in Chicago. That's something that they both wanted for a long time. So it's literally
So
just
you get this
me.
time to just do you and like go after some dreams and show her what's
Yes.
possible. That is
Yeah.
incredible. I know for me, same thing. Like I moved up here from Atlanta a couple years ago by myself. I did a year by myself without my kids. And man,
Hmm.
when I tell you, I think a lot of people don't understand what that means for a woman because you know, as soon as we have kids, we kind of no longer are important. I wouldn't say we're not important, but it becomes all about them and we lose so much
Absolutely.
of ourselves. And especially if you've been a driven woman and you've had all these
Hmm.
dreams and goals, it gives you something else to kind of really go after and see how tough you are for
Hmm.
you. Because
Right.
I know for me, I know I'm tough because I had two kids by myself and my daughter's 19 and I have an 11-year-old. So it's always just been me. So I know I'm tough.
Oh
But this
yeah.
gives you a reason to like be tough and then have something to really show for it, right? So
Absolutely.
and not to say that being in survival mode isn't cool, but now I'm kind of like I can just, you know, do me, look the best I've
Yes.
ever looked and like
Yes. And you
really just
look
do you.
good.
Thank you. I'm listen,
You're
43 is looking
welcome.
good on me. 43 is looking good on me.
Girl, you look fantastic.
Thank you, thank you,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Okay, so let's jump into music. I shared this with you before that listen,
Hmm.
from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I'm listening to something. What is at the
Yes.
top of Rachel's playlist when it's time to get it in that gym and you know and get after it? What you got on the top of your playlist?
Well, as of Friday, Metro Boomin and Future dropped that album. So, like, that has been on repeat. It
Yes.
has been on repeat. It's just, I don't know, Metro Boomin and his beats. It's just crazy. I could listen to
Right.
it instrumental because the beat goes so
So fire,
crazy.
right?
But then K Dot came on there and had to cut up like that. So it just gets me like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Man, I love a good hard beat. Like I was laughing with my best friend Naya. Like sometimes when I'm like shoulder day or something and it's a little
Hmm.
tough or whatever, I wait for the beat to drop before I just like,
I do too.
why do we do
Yes,
that? Why are we like
because it got a hit like with Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill. I let him talk it, but when he
Hold up,
talks
wait a
for a
minute.
minute,
Y'all thought I was finished? When I bought the ass tomorrow, y'all thought it was rented?
yes,
Flexing on these niggas, I'm like
yes,
Popeye on this.
boom? And that's one of my
yes,
favorite songs. I listen to that song every day. I listen to Cardi
absolutely,
B Get Up 10 every day. It's a couple of songs that I have to hear
yes,
because the lyrics just mean so much to me and I know like all of the different pain and anger and happiness and joy and struggles and things that I put into my gym sessions every day. Those
yes.
songs just really help push me through. So thank you for sharing that.
No
So
problem.
what's next for you, Rachel? Like what we got coming up? What's next?
So I decided with my coach, shout out Coach Rachel. She's like, you need to take a year off because I went hard for 2 years. So I'm listening because you know you get that itch like nah I think we could go, but no, I'm gonna actually take this year off, rest and recover, of course, you know, still train, but really now that I got my pro card, I want to dive back into my business, my brand, Marked by Beauty. It is a brand that promotes women and well everybody that is uniquely different because like I said earlier, having this birthmark on my eye, I struggle with insecurities and just not feeling pretty because I didn't look like everybody else. And so all these years, I'm like, God, what am I supposed to do with it? Like, it sounds pretty. I want to, you know, create this platform, but what else? So now I incorporate skin because I'm a licensed esthetician. Now I can incorporate health and wellness because I'm a pro athlete now. You know what I'm
You
saying?
better say that. You better
Eh,
say it
Say it
again.
with my chest. I am
Listen,
a
pro
pro
athlete. That's
athlete.
right.
Yes. So yeah, just really trying to make Mark My Beauty make sense and get people to share their stories, just like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And just bring awareness to people and let them know that even though we in 2024 and BBLs and breast and everybody's starting to look the same with makeup, that even if you are flawed, your flaws are flawless and you are still beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love the name Marked by Beauty. I think that is so
Thank
clever.
you.
I love it. And listen, you're beautiful. And I'm sure
Thank
you know that
you.
now. You have so much confidence exuding from you. And my daughter also has a birthmark on her eye. And, we just always, she's never
Really?
really, we just loved on her so much that I don't even think she recognized, like she's never had that. But it's because of courageous people like you who kind of stood in their truth. So
Hmm.
that we just realize that it's not anything that's ever going to hold her back. However, when I was younger, it would be tougher for people to really be who they are and really
Hmm.
get that acceptance from the world. And so now we have
Yes.
models that all different sizes, all different shades. And
Yes.
at this point, freckles and different eye colors and scars are just
Hmm.
almost you're almost more unique and more special, right?
Yes.
Because God decided to put His mark on you, and so that's just really, really, really incredible. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
No
Um,
problem.
so my final question to you is, if you had to give advice to anybody um,
Hmm.
about to embark on, their bodybuilding career and
Hmm.
specifically going into figure, what's one good piece of advice that you would give her?
I would tell her just to not give up because, and I know that sounds so cliche, but really, in all of our division, it's not easy. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. And so, as long as you keep your eye on the prize and remember why you're doing this, and remember that you're not going to win every show,
Mm,
and to not let that stop you because that's something else that we don't talk about.
hmm
We don't talk about the fact that it is like it will bring your confidence down when you don't win.
It's sobering. It's sobering for sure. Yeah.
It is, especially if you're like, oh yeah, I got it in the bag this time, and then they're like, oh no, no, you don't.
Mhm.
So take those no's and use that as your rod and staff and your fuel
Mhm.
to just keep going. Um, and remember that this is all about you. It's not about anybody else. This is all about you. And once you focus and you lock in, then eventually your time will come.
Yeah. Those are
Yeah,
some really, really good gems that you just dropped there. Thank you so much for that.
no
I hope
problem.
someone can really hear the message there, because I think all those things are extremely important. And I definitely use them as my North Star every single day when I get up and I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I
Right.
remember my why. And I'm like, you know
Yes.
what? You don't give up. Like, when it's your time, it's your time. Just keep putting in the work. So, Miss
Yeah.
Rachel Waugh, thank you so much. This has been a phenomenal conversation.
Thank
Um,
you.
to learn more about you. We'll make sure that we put information about your business and all the things you got going on in the description. And good luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Davina, and good luck to you too.
Thank you.
No problem.